Welcome, everyone, to another RLT Pivot podcast. My name is Tracy. I'm one of your co-hosts, and thank you very much for joining us today. We have a great show lined up for you. And before we get started, just a reminder, the chat is live, so please throw your questions in the chat. And if you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell. Dan, how's it going, man? What have we got in store today?
I'm super pumped for this episode because it's been... we've just been doing all the algo classes in real life trading. It's definitely been a hot topic. Tons of questions coming in about it. So I'm so happy we could get my boy David Potvin in to explain a little bit about the algo trading and a little bit about what that actually is, how to accomplish that, and then if you could get into a little bit about the classes as well. But what's going on, David?
Guys, thanks so much for having me on here. It's going great, actually. We have been living in this kind of heat bubble here in Canada with the heat wave going on. It's kind of moved off and drifted off to Tracy's corner now. So
on my part, yeah, thanks.
Apparently, she's sitting there sweltering in the sun and the heat and all that there, and I'm actually comfortable for one, so it's great. So yeah, man, we just wrapped up the ALGO course. Yesterday was the last class. We were doing, I think it was 14 classes in total, which I think is the biggest course that we got in RLT so far.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, David, before you go further, explain what is algo, because people might not know what that means.
Right. So algo, or automation, is basically what we're teaching in that class is teaching you how to make robots or algos within certain platforms that are available to us to trade for you on your behalf, right? So if you have a particular strategy that you really like to do and you want to automate it, then that's kind of what we were teaching, right? So one of the things a lot of people are very familiar with was Momo. So that's one of the things that we already have automated and is available for everyone. They can just start doing that right away. It's hands off. You just set it, go. Forget about it and come back later and see how it went and did all the trading for you.
I like the one sentence that you said, if you have a strategy, you can hook it up. So one of the questions that we get is just because people think algorithm, they go, you got the black box trading and all this stuff. You still have to hook it up to something, right? Correct. So tell us a little bit about exactly what you do as far as how to take a strategy, put it into some kind of algo, and what that actually means. Because I think when people hear algorithm, they just think that you just set your account up to some robot and it just makes money for you. And I wish that was true.
Well, it kind of is true in a way, but you got to do a little bit more work in the background, right? So a lot of people, they might have heard about, if they've read books like Flash Boys or The Man Who Beat the Market and stuff like that. The algo trading over there, it's AI based. It's crazy. There's billions of dollars in it, but just it's way out of what we teach. And if you're at that level, cool, man. I mean, you teach me, but I'm definitely not there because I don't got those kind of deep pockets. But what we do is we start with the trading plan, like everyone should. You've got your plan, it's written down somewhere. And then we convert that into a language that the computer will understand, right? So you've got your requirements. For example, you're doing an EMA cross, or you want to buy a breakout or something like that. So you've got your rules that define what you are allowed to trade. And then you've got the execution portion of it as, okay, well, there's my targets, this is my stop. And then finally, you've got the trade management part of it. So that's also the third thing. So you basically combine all of that, and then you put it inside a program. And we teach 3 different ways in the class. So one is with TradingView. So you can actually do some of that within TradingView. The second one is we teach is with trade ideas. And the third one, which you just finished yesterday, was with CR charts. So the same process for all 3 different platforms, just convert the plan into something the computer understands. And then from there, it will execute the trade in your broker, right? So you connect these platforms to your broker, and then it will just send the trades there with the target and the stop, and it will manage it for you. So that's what we teach. It's not like the crazy AI supercomputers that we're dealing with. It's it's running on your computer, your laptop, your desktop, or you can rent a server somewhere and host it there if you have bad internet connection.
Okay, I have a question that's probably eating at everybody that's listening right now, but do you have to be a programmer to be able to do this?
Yes and no. So that was the fun thing about the course that we taught, is that we've got different levels, right? So if you have no programming skills at all and you don't want to learn it, then you could take the trade idea route. If you have a little bit of programming skills and you're kind of good with like Excel formulas, with simple like if something, then do something else, or do this, then you could look at something like Sierra charts. If you know some coding or you're just really good at coding, you could look at, the trade ideas portion of it, or the trading view portion of it, which is basically using what they've built in there on their platform, right? So it's all levels. I mean, obviously, if you know some, you could probably do more, but you don't have to be a programmer.
Okay. Very, very, very cool. Now, your course, is it available right now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah?
It's available. If you go to the reallifetrading.com website, it's at the top, ALGO trading course right now. It's all been recorded. It's all done now. So it's there. It's live. You can go and get it and watch it. We split up in 4 parts, obviously, because there's different things, right? So if you're never going to program, then you can just choose the trade ideas portion of it or whatnot. So it's completely up to you how you want it. And then I'm available for any questions or whatnot for people who are interested in it.
We have a question coming in, and we will, on one episode, just because for volume and graphs and stuff like that, we probably do multiple episodes on because it's very detailed. But when you're dealing with algorithms, how detailed can you get as far as the algorithm goes? Is there any limitations to it? Can you do something like the volume has to be hitting certain, like spiking at certain points? You have to cross over certain EMAs, things like that. How detailed can you get with your actual algorithm that you're programming?
As deep as you want to go, right? That's the cool thing about automation, is that you can say you're looking for a very specific kind of breakout, for example. So you're looking for volume, you're looking for perhaps a high, you're looking for, maybe you want to cross-reference. So maybe you're playing, the SPY, and you want to make sure that the Qs and the Dow Jones is also breaking at the same time. You can do all that with automation. So it can be as simple or as complex as you want it, right? And it's not as hard as you probably think it is, right? Like we just literally taught this week on how to make, something that's kind of different in terms of, a lot of people are like, oh, we can do like an EMA cross, right? An EMA cross robot or something like that. And, they're great. Sometimes you get chopped up quite a bit. But, yesterday we were doing one robot where we were looking at, buying the halfback or the 50% in an uptrend. It's a little bit more complex, but it wasn't that difficult to build, right? So yeah, it's completely up to you. How detailed do you want it to be?
Okay, so I have a question then. Automation, you can do that. Do you recommend, because I think a lot of people might be attracted to this because either they have time or they don't have time to trade and they want to be able to trade, or possibly because they don't really understand what they're doing and maybe this might make it easier. I know a lot of people like those green light, red light type of systems where it just says buy here, sell here. And do you encourage people to get into algo trading if they don't really know how to trade?
I think that you definitely want some experience in trading. You don't necessarily need to be, vastly profitable and successful, but as long as you understand the basic concept. So you've done all of the RLT courses, the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced courses, and you have some decent knowledge with trading, it's certainly going to help you when you start building your own things. Right now, if you're just going to, say subscribe to a service that gives you the trading signals already, if that's sort of what you were saying, the red light, green light kind of thing, I mean, that's also, it's not a bad thing at all. In terms of time, right? So when you start building robots and automation, there's obviously a lot of time that needs to be invested in the very beginning, right? You have to learn the platforms. You need to be able to, write your robots and get them going. You need to test them, you want to back test them, forward test them, optimize them, make sure that they're good. But once that initial portion is done, you basically become a babysitter of robots.
Okay.
And like back when I was living in Asia, I would, set my robots, like, because in Asia, the market would open, 9:30 or 10:30 at night, and I wasn't going to stay up the whole night. So I would, 9 o'clock at night, I would go set my robots and go to bed. And I'd wake up the next morning and I'd look at my P&L. I was like, oh, they did good, or oh crap, one of these days.
Making money while you sleep. That's the perfect thing. Hey,
I know you mentioned 4 different platforms, and we also had the 4 individual courses on each platform. You mentioned them real quick in the beginning. Could you mention those again? And do you have a certain preference to that? And then I do have a question from Justin that came into the chat as well. But if you could just kind of discuss each platform a little bit, and if there's certain benefits to one over the other, or limitations for the certain platforms, or if they work relatively all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're all very vastly different platforms, which is the fun thing about them, right? So the first one that we covered when the first portion of our class was Traders Post, which is done in-house by Jonathan Wag. So he built that platform, and with that, it's connected to Momo. And then from there, what you basically do is you subscribe to Traders Post, and then you can choose which broker that you want to connect it to. And then from there, you can choose the strategy, so Momo in this case. And there'll be more in the future. We actually did build one. I'll get to that in a second. So you subscribe to Momo, and then you choose which tickers that you want it to trade. And then you choose your risk. You choose how you want to get in, out of trades, and then you set and forget it. So you're done. So that's like the easiest part of automation. You don't do anything. You just set it up and you walk away, and then you let Momo do everything else, right? The second course that we taught, we had Dustin come on, and he helped us out with that. And that's with the trading view portion of the automation, right? So trading view does offer kind of like the scripting part. So you can go and program and build kind of your own strategies and studies within TradingView. So a lot of people who do use that platform might already know. If they go and find like a custom indicator, for example, those are just things that people have built. So we built another strategy with that, which is called the 10 EMA attack, or EMAC attack, which is basically a 10 EMA strategy that Matt DeLong originally built. And then Dustin took it and then modified it, made it a bit better. When we completed that class, we actually put that in Traders Post. So now in Traders Post, you've got both this 10 EMA strategy and the Momo strategy, right? So that was the second portion. So that requires a little bit of programming. The third one is Trade Ideas, which is basically just filters and alerts. And because there's such a vast quantity of filters and alerts available, you can forge them to make the exact pattern that you want in the chart, right? So if you're looking for a particular trade, maybe like an S-curve kind of deal, using the combination of the different filters and alerts, you could build a robot that finds S-curves and trade them, right? So that's no programming at all. And then you connect that to Interactive Brokers. That's the only one that they support currently. But once that's connected to your Interactive Brokers, then you just basically fire off the commands to execute the trades in your IB account. And then the final one is Sierra Charts. So Sierra Charts is more based for futures traders, but you can trade stocks with it. And there it's more of a kind of like an advanced spreadsheet trading with simple formulas, very similar to how Excel works. And again, you just basically have complete access to all of the indicators and all the studies and everything that comes with that program. And then you can build your own on top of it. And then you could actually just make your robot through there using that. They do offer like the programming portion as well. So if you do actually know C++ and you want to actually really get meaty and gritty in your robots, then you could also do that with Sierra Charts. But that we didn't teach that because it's programming. And I think if you already know how to program, I don't need to teach you how to program. So we taught the spreadsheet one, which is just a different approach, but it has all the same functionalities as the actual programming portion.
Gotcha. Awesome. So in the chat, Justin asked, without coding experience, so therefore using trade ideas, how does one go about explaining my strategy to the company to then translate into a code? And then what does the process look like?
So the process is not that difficult, right? So really you look at your trading plan and you've got your rules, right? It's all written down. So now you just go to the computer and then you start writing down these rules using their platform, and we explain how that works for all the separate platforms and how to write those rules down. Once you write those rules down, then you just start configuring the trade execution parts. So it's not that difficult, really. It's just, you just got to have it written down somewhere, really, to start off with.
This is you actually creating the code or writing the bot. I think the question, though, is asking more whether or not we can actually communicate that to the company and have them write the script for us. Is that possible?
Oh, you mean the actual company? Yeah, for sure. You could hire people to do that portion for you, but
Okay.
I mean, I just finished doing the course for that, so you don't need to hire someone. You can just learn it on your own.
There you
Right? So
go. Exactly. Or
to
better
me, that
yet,
seems like a lot easier than doing that.
better yet, you have a mentor group starting, correct? So if
Oh yeah,
people,
yeah.
hey,
So I'll be
talk
starting
about
up the
that.
mentorship. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be doing the mentorship. I think it's scheduled to start on July 11th. I think is the dates that we decided. So it'll be on Sundays. I think it was 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be starting that up there. So for anyone who is interested in, actually doing one-on-one or one-on-multiple, kind of working on algos and whatnot, and just reviewing them and building them and destroying them and all that there. Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So has it been posted yet? Because our mentor groups sell out really quick. So
I
is there room
don't
still?
think so. I don't know if it's posted yet. I think we're still working on getting all the details and all that figured out.
Perfect. All right.
We just wrapped up the course yesterday, so I was like, all right, we need a mentorship. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Awesome.
Right?
So if you guys want to learn how to do this and you want David to mentor you, check it out. Look for us at the mentor page on reallifetrading.com. Go there, find him, and book it. There's 6 spots. Is that correct? Is it the same?
Yeah, it
as
should be
us?
6 spots. Yeah, same as everyone else. Yeah.
All right. So 6 spots. Otherwise, first come, first serve, and you'll have to wait till the next time. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. All right. What are some of the benefits of algo trading?
Walking away.
Okay.
I think no, that's the biggest one, really. I mean, honestly, a lot of newer traders as well, they might struggle with like the emotional aspect of money when they're trading, right? And the robots, they don't have emotions. They just take the trade because every criteria was met, right?
That's a good one, yeah.
And another thing too is like you can't trade everything because you can't see everything. But with trade ideas, for example, you can tell it to look at an entire universe of stocks, and then stuff that you didn't even like, you might not have had on your watch list. It's like, oh, boom, this one's good, let's go, and it takes that trade for you, right? But really, honestly, I think the biggest benefit is just being able to walk away from the computer. Like I was saying, when I was in Asia, I would go to bed, right?
Yep.
And I trusted the robots with my money. They do good. They're fine. Right? I have no problem with that. So being able to walk away. So if you have a job or you've got kids like me, and they take a lot more time than you need to be sitting at your desk trading, then obviously it's a very good benefit.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand too. Like the robot is not another person trading. Like it's not like a better trader than you. It's just an extension of what you would do. So in the situation where you're in Asia, Australia, places where you should be sleeping when the market's typically open in the US and you still want to trade it, that's a great way to really be able to have that extension of yourself to really be able to trade 24 hours. And I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said a lot of the new traders, even experienced traders at times, you have your plan in place, right? So you're looking for just kind of executing your plan, and the robot is an easy way to make sure that if certain criteria are met, then you're taking trades, you're getting out of trades, you're not worried so much about the emotional aspect, which is a huge part of a lot of new traders just sitting there watching the screen, making decisions, but just purely on emotion. With algo trading, because you could take your strategy and back trade it, through trading view, things like that. Can you back trade in algo trading?
Oh, that's the most important step. Yeah. So when you're building any robot, any strategy, the very first step after you finish the actual, okay, cool, I finished it, it's working, it's alive, you back test it. That's the very first thing you do, and then you can see the performance of how it would have performed in the past data, and then from there the next step is basically like, well, how can I improve it, right? So you've got your base plan. It probably works, but there's always room for improvement,
Right. Right.
right?
What about account size? Is there kind of a minimum account size that this will work with, or is it any account size?
Any account size, really. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. Most of them, all of them support the R system. So,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, if you're going to be doing more than 3 trades a week, you're going to want more than what is it, 25,000 for the pattern day trading rule? I think that's
So
what it is.
in the US, it's 25,000, correct? So
Yeah. So,
at least have the 25,000 in the account, if not a little
well,
cushion.
if you're going to do like swing trading, for
Right.
example, and you're not doing more than 3 round trips a week, well, you don't need that much.
Right.
You can trade with as little or as much as you want, really.
Right.
So, obviously, if you have a little account, and some of the like trade ideas, for example, I think it's $200 a month. So if you're not trading with a lot of money, having that platform might be kind of expensive for you. So it's like, well, if I'm only doing a 50R per trade, you have to have 4 trades to break even just for trade ideas, for example, right?
Right.
But then if your R is like 400, for example, then half an R, that's 1 trade, and trade ideas is paid for the
Okay,
month.
so execution, like if you, let's say you have the $25,000 and you're going to be day trading in the
Yep.
US, um, obviously bots can be faster at execution. They could take more trades in a day, et cetera, et
Oh, yeah.
cetera. How does this affect? I mean, the US market probably isn't affected by this because most of them don't have commission fees, but outside of the US, a lot of us do. So that could get costly. Like what are some of the costs associated with running a bot outside of the actual trading part?
So you'll need obviously the platform. So all the platforms that we offer they're provided for us, right? So there's obviously going to be a fee to that because we didn't program or build our own robot. That's, if you're a programmer, you can go and build your own code and do your own thing that costs you nothing, right? So each platform will have their fees. Commissions, they're a necessary evil, right? I mean, yes, there are lots of brokers that now offer commission free, but I've always had commissions. I don't live in the US. I don't get any of the free trade stuff. So it's not a lot, and commissions don't really hurt you unless you're trading penny stocks, I find. So like, if it's going to cost you, what is it for interactive brokers? Their basic package is it's 1 cent one way. So it's 2 cents per stock, right? So if you're trading 10,000 penny stocks, it's going to cost you a lot in commissions. But if you're trading Square or Roku, it's going to cost you $1, $2 in commissions round trip. So it's not. I don't think commissions are really a factor to worry about. So yeah, just the broker fees, or not the brokers, but the actual platform fees. And then again, like I said, I mean, I look at it in a way of just how many R's do I need per month to use this for free, in a sense, because that's another thing I did a while back is just how can you live for free, right? Like, I have a mobile phone. Well, why don't I just make money with that company that provides me a mobile phone and get my mobile phone for free?
Yeah, for sure.
So I look at the same ways like that. It's like, okay, trade ideas cost me $200 a month, so I need to make $200 at least every month with my trade ideas, and it's paid for.
Gotcha.
There's a good question. So obviously, crypto is a huge topic. So we did have a question in the chat. Does the algos work with crypto trading? And the question actually is, do you think it works better for crypto than for maybe stocks?
Cryptos, it works. It's just right now I know that the fees for trading cryptos is quite pricey, and that's the actual fees built into the cryptos themselves, and not the actual platform brokers. I mean, they also take a cut. So I know that a lot of the automation that's been tried so far is just they eat up your profit quite quickly for the fees. Now, if it's easy or not, I find most markets that are 24/7 or nearly 24/7, so that would be crypto, Forex, for example, and futures, are actually the hardest ones to program. It seems like they just generally don't respect traditional indicators very good. And so if you're trying to build a robot based off of indicators and stuff like that and kind of combining different ones, it's this is the hardest one. Actually, I find that stocks are probably the easiest one to actually automate.
Yeah, I mean, the 24-hour markets, you've got so many different people coming in and out of the market at different times that the variables change drastically from an overnight session to a daytime session to a, when you've got
Right.
London versus the US versus Asia, it's all very, very different. And that's, I think, a dynamic that really affects the stability of those markets throughout a
Yeah.
day. So absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely that, and it's just
I
as
think
well.
the program would have to be based on that market that you're trading. So obviously, if you have a plan, you have to have your plan account for a 24-hour market where stocks, the current plan that you have, might be just for stocks. So I think all charts kind of read the same, but you're right as far as like how things move and how long they move for and things like that, which I think you just kind of have to tell the robot to adjust itself a little bit for that certain type of market. In regards to so let's say I love algo trading. You're selling me on it. You're like the ShamWow guy right now. What's the what's the layout?
Wow.
What's the first step? For me personally, I would just assume log in to take the course, learn something about what you're actually doing with the algos, how to set it up. But after kind of taking the education, what's the next step of kind of the process of getting going with the algo trading? Where should I turn to?
So I think the first step, obviously, is just to have your strategies ready, right? So you have maybe one, or maybe you've got 5 or 6 different things that you want to try to automate. Pick and choose one of the platforms to try first to see. I mean, obviously, not all trading platforms are going to be good for what you want to do or how you want to do it. So, try and find the right platform, and we go over all that in the course. Like which one probably suits you the best. Then go and play and learn the platform. Start building your robots. Make some mistakes and learn along the way. It's fine. It's perfect. That's how we learn. And then you start. Once you've got it built, you're going to do the back testing of your robot. You're going to do the forward testing with your robot. You're going to do a lot of journaling to make sure that all the data kind of matches and works out to your favor. And then you hit the go live button.
Pretty cool. What is your favorite platform?
My favorite platform is CR Charts.
Fair enough. Love it.
It's the most versatile. It gives you the most flexibility, and it's so easy to use once you know it. Like when you look at CR Charts the first time, you go to the website like, what is this, right? And like it looks old, it looks dated, but once you actually load it up and you get going, you see it's fast, it's easy, it works all the time.
Yeah, I love CR Charts.
Yeah, especially for futures, it's really good.
Yeah, I have one other question from the chat, and that is, once you create the code, is there anything you have to do to maintain it as brokers change their systems, etc.?
Most brokers don't really make big changes in their systems, but if they do, there'll be plenty of announcements. They'll give you lots of forewarning. If they're doing changes to, say, their API. In terms of what do you have to do after you build your robot, you still have work to do, and that's to continuously maintain your robot, right? So as market conditions change, right now we're like in a bullish market, right? And right now volatility is really little. So the robots that work in this kind of environment will work great right now. But when that volatility spikes happen, we start pulling back. That little buy the dip robot's going to be really bad, right? So you're going to have to either change that robot or kind of put it aside for now and then have another robot that kind of works in the new type of market that we're dealing with. Right. So there's always that kind of game that you have to play to kind of be with the market and what it's doing at the same time.
Yeah, it's absolutely not a set it and forget it. It's a set it, forget it for a little bit, but make sure that you're monitoring it every once in a while. It's still your capital and still your responsibility to make sure that it's there.
Yeah.
Sure.
You just review it every day, make sure it's all going good. You log your trades, you look at it. Oh, that was a crap trade. Why did it take that? Or that was a fantastic trade. I need more of these.
Absolutely. Well, David, we're out of time, and we do have one announcement that I need to get out before we end the show. I want to thank you so much for joining us, and
thank you for having me.
It's been a blast. We'll have to have you back again because this is really good information. Listeners out there, we are having another game show. Yay! Another game show. We are doing our spinoff of Hollywood Squares, and we're going to be doing it August 5th. Now, we are looking for 2 lucky contestants to join our show, and this is how we're going to do it. We are looking for the closest guess to the closing price of Square happening on July 29th. Okay, so that's July 29th of 2021. The closest 2 people to guess the closing price of Square on that day are going to be our lucky contestants. Now, there's some conditions. Number 1, we will only be taking guesses up until the close of the 28th. That's the day before, so 24 hours in advance. All right, so that's condition number 1. Condition number 2, you have to be available to be on the show on the 5th of August. The third condition, you need to have a decent camera and a good microphone. Those are the conditions. Now, to enter, just send either myself or Dan an email. You can reach me at tracy@reallifetrading.com. That's TRACY at reallifetrading.com. And then, or Dan at reallifetrading.com. That's DAN at reallifetrading.com. Now, we have a prize that we're giving away. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I can tell you that it's over $400 worth. So please start guessing, you guys. Start chucking in those guesses. And like I said, we will be announcing the winners on the show on the 29th. All right. So
awesome.
Keep it going.
Can I say just one thing though?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If someone guesses the exact closing price, I want to know who they are and meet them because I need to build a robot for them. If they can guess the closing price the day before, it's like they're going to be billionaires.
There you go. You've heard it. You've heard it.
Awesome. And obviously, this game show only happens if David's robots don't already take over the world and run humankind first. So that's the other stipulation. But otherwise, thank you guys for joining us once again for the Pivot Podcast. We got to get the likes up. Hit that little thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Get all the cool notifications from Real Life Trading. Check out David's algo trading course. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. And if you guys are interested in algo trading, that's definitely the best way to get involved with it. Tracy, thanks for hosting. And David, appreciate you coming on. We got to get you back again. You're incredible. All right.
Anytime, guys.
We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.